I wish someone were filming this part of us waiting to film the part of us doing the thing. I'm all about the meta.
Okay, good morning, everyone joining us on Facebook. I'm Hillary Richardson. I'm the coordinator of undergraduate research at the W, and I'm here with Olivia Sagely, our OUR student assistant, and TK Lee, creative writing professor on campus. And we are just going to preview for you what our upcoming OUR faculty mentor panel is going to look like. The panel will be on October 28th at noon, and we will be broadcasting on Zoom and via Facebook Live. So if you want to join us October 28th, you can go to our website, muw.edu/OUR for more information and links. And right now I'm going to give the floor over to Olivia to ask TK Lee some questions.
Hi, I'm just going to ask you 2 questions, and my first one is, what does undergraduate research mean to you?
What does undergraduate research mean to me? Okay, well, I'm going to answer it in 2 parts. First, from back in the day, before COVID and computers and internet, really, when I was an undergraduate, and then also what I think it means as a professor. But maybe that answer, well, okay, we'll see what happens. What undergraduate research meant to me when I was a freshman in college? I was a nerd. I still am a nerd. I love to read. I love to do research. I love to be in the know. And I think secretly everybody wants to be in the know. I don't think they know exactly how much work it takes to keep yourself in the know, because that is constantly having to do some sort of research. But at an undergraduate level, this is why you go to college in some sense, is because you want to find others like you. You know, you want to know that you're not yelling into the void, and that you have other like-minded individuals pursuing a similar goal. And so the first part of the research is just character-based, right? It's like getting your feet wet. How does college work? Who do I watch? Who do I pattern myself after? But then beyond that, once you figure out what it is, after you've changed your major 8 or 9 times, and you finally say, oh, I'm gonna do theater, which thrilled my family to no end, of course, that I said that. But for me, it was finding my people. And when I will, to this day, and I think this is part of it too, that the sense of direction it gives you, but also a sense of validation, because I remember in a cohort with several other undergrads whom I still stay in touch with, but it was an assignment, and we were having to talk about, just gut reactions or initial beliefs about the purpose of the theater or the stage. And all of us, shared our ideas, and we're writing them down. And then we had to go do brief, like surface research. Has anyone else said anything like this? And the validation that I got as, some small kid from backwoods Mississippi who was feeling this way about this art form, and then found the thread, went all the way back to David Mamet and Stanislavski, and even beyond, to Aristophanes. It was, Aristotle and Aristophanes, oddly enough, for the frogs, but it gave me such purpose. But I thought, I'm not a crazy person. I thought this, and the giants are thinking this, and so I may not be a giant, but I'm walking the same way they walked. And it really tightened my approach to every other class I took, and it created a community, right? Build self-esteem. And I think that's very important at that age. And that's one thing that a university should be teaching its students. So I think that should still mean the same thing to me today, even though I'm no longer doing it from a student's perspective. I'm still learning as a professor. And if I want to keep relevant and I want to keep up to date, you don't stop reading and you don't stop doing research. And I think it rounds out the whole part of the college career that you should be experiencing when you move off, or whatever the case may be. But I would say it's the same. What it meant to me then, I think it should still mean to people today.
Awesome, thank you so much. And my second question is, what are the benefits of doing undergraduate research?
Well, I'm going to stick to I'm going to call it my anchor answer here, because the idea of what it does for your self-esteem, or the validation that it gives you to think, I had this thought, I put it in the world, and there were other shoulders already there to stand on. I'm a part of that family, and I'm a part of this idea or this critical skill or whatever the case may be. That's a huge source of pride, I would think, for any student, but certainly it was for me. The other benefits too is that you have to do conferences, you have to present, you have to learn to speak well, you have to learn to know yourself well and how to present that to others, and to be, as we're learning right now, you don't know what questions are coming at you, and so you can flounder. That looks human. I'm looking very human right now, I'm sure. But to have done the research, to have looked at a pattern, to have studied an example, means you have something to fall back on. So you're not just only floundering. You flounder and flop till you get back on your feet. And then you're like, and here I am again. And now here's my next point. So it builds people skills. And this is very important right now in COVID, because I forgot how to people. I mean, we've been in this pandemic for so long and everything's on the computer. You're a flat screen, but you're really not. You're a well-rounded person. And it's going to be, I think, a very important tool. And I'm so glad that y'all are doing this, to remind people about this element of research too, that benefit of how to connect and how to, in theater, at least in the arts, because every type of person can be portrayed on the stage, you really do learn how to respond to many different types of people. I'm sure every discipline has its own, boons and pitfalls for that. But I would certainly say it's a community building. It is all about the safety in numbers, right? It's one voice by itself in the dark versus 1,000. People pay attention. And when you do your research, if you really did your research, then you can be your own fact checker, and you can be aware of the truth in the world and the true ways other people don't want to look at that truth. And I think those people become shining lights. I mean, it happens at the undergraduate level. That's where your good habits, if you do it well and you listen to those who are leading you that way, will take over the bad habits. And maybe at the end of it all, it'll be a better world, right? I hope. But I think that's the biggest benefit, really. Networking too, I guess. You meet people that are in your field. And the obvious thing, right? You go to the conference and you meet the people there, but I'm very centered on the self. Like, I want people to know they can do this thing themselves. They can do the research if they do the work. It's not impossible. It's hard. It's a lot of work to do, to seek the truth. But what was that TV show? The X-Files, or The Truth Is Out There, right? So you have to go read it and find it for yourself. But I think those are enough, I guess. I mean, I could talk forever about the benefits of it, but I think those are the big ones.
Well, thank you so much for answering my questions.
Good. I did answer them then? That's good.
Yes, you did.
I'm giving myself an A+ then. But yeah, no problem. I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you both, TK Lee and Olivia, for talking about what undergraduate research means. If you want to join us for more, if you just got a taste but you want the whole entree, we will be talking with more faculty and other departments on campus October 28th at noon on Facebook Live and Zoom. We hope to see you there.